because like one of the biggest things I struggle with is like getting deeper into relationships with people, so especially new people. So like my friend circle is like super tiny, and even like so every time I'm like this year, like actually every time I read my resolutions for the year, I'm like make 2 friends.
Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's Definitely TMI.
Good job.
Yeah. He missed the beginning of the it's, but I was like, I expected
The
it.
base.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like,
Ooh.
We haven't had
said, I'm a
testosterone,
man.
you know?
I'm even changing how I'm speaking now.
Yeah, we haven't had a man on set for like, since Shiv. No. Since,
Yes.
indeed.
Yo.
Yes.
Indeed.
Who's
Anyway, long story. We'll tell you after.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
remind us, okay? Welcome to this episode of TMI, the Messy In Between podcast. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for joining us. If it is your first time here, welcome. Welcome so much. This is a good episode for you to have tuned into. And if you've been here for episodes and episodes and episodes, we know you are subscribed and we don't need to tell you. Thank you so much for supporting our podcast. Make sure you're following us on all our social media handles, TMI Podcast KE, Lydia KM, Murugi Munyi. And today our special guest is...
Victor Peace.
So yeah, Victor Peace.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, which is not your real
Operator.
name. Peace is not your real
Victor
name. Right?
Karanja.
Oh,
Really?
right, yeah.
But you know what? When I don't know what I was typing,
Yeah.
I don't know who I was saying. I was like, why does that sound so good, Victor Peace? Where
Right.
did that come from?
So back in the day when I was a photographer, it was very hard to get work as a Kenyan. So you had to sound like you're not from here.
Whoa.
But also my mom named me that when I was younger, so I decided to just use that instead
So it's
Your mom
actually
used
one
to
of your
send
names.
portfolios. Yeah,
Victor Peace Karanja.
yeah,
Go off,
so
King.
cute.
Okay. So
I
it
love
is your
that.
name.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that really like is light up.
Yeah.
Mama, shout out.
She was
great
thinking.
job.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really fantastic.
We love-
Church moms.
Yeah.
Church mom.
Yeah.
Come. Oh,
No,
right,
but trust
please.
me, it could have
It's like
gone
you'll be
Victor
called Peace
Abraham. It could
and
have been
I'm Joy.
Abraham.
Oh, right. Or Melchizedek.
Listen, it could be
Victor
many
Melchizedek.
things.
Oh,
Karanja.
Mel.
Yeah.
That would have
Mel.
been. That's it. Could have been Mel. That's what it is.
Remix
Yes.
it.
Anyway, if you're wondering why we have Victor Peace on our set, it is because we have been doing a series of like establishing what the experience is like for firstborns. We've done middle children. Of course, out of the 3 we've done, by the way, that's the least watched.
We know.
because nobody
Yeah,
cares
no one cares
about
about
middle
them.
children, and our experience matters. It matters.
So,
Okay.
so sad to be forgotten even in content.
I keep going to reload, see the views are
see.
not changing. I'm like,
Refresh.
really,
I'm sorry.
guys? Seriously?
Yeah, I would say actually that firstborns, it's oversaturated. Please, you're over researched. We get it.
We
Life is
understand.
hard.
Thank
you
you.
are the first. You carry everyone. It's. I think it's
Tell
over.
yourself. Tell yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over.
Look at you.
Like,
It's like
serious.
therapy for
Yeah,
you right now.
exactly.
So today we wanted to have a perspective. First of all, you guys have been begging us to have a perspective from a man. So as
Yeah.
you can hear from the bass is here.
Yeah, what's up?
today.
Hey.
And he is also an only child.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, first of
That
all,
you
tell
know.
us, does it give only child? Just by what you know of him, does it give only
Exactly,
child?
yeah. And go on his page, maybe go and scroll,
And
even if you don't
see
follow
if
him,
it gives
scroll
only
and see
child.
if it does. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do you think
Yeah.
he gives only child first?
I
Let's
do.
judge our guest first. Let's judge him.
Right, let me judge you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it definitely gives only child or last born. And I feel like only
Yo,
child and last
what?
born usually have very similar, very
Thin line.
No,
It's a dance.
very
That's
close,
actually
yeah.
a lie.
It's a
I
dance.
mean, honestly, it feels like even when I look at your page, I'm just like, wow, like you're so you focused, which is great because you're you, but it's just so different from my lived experience. So yeah, I would say it definitely gives only child or last born.
It does.
Yeah, you.
And I feel from the perspective of it's you look like you're okay on your own. I don't know
Exactly.
how to explain that. I don't know what
Yo.
I mean by that, but it seems like, do you know what? He gets up, He doesn't need to call anyone that day. He shoots his content, he edits, he posts. He doesn't even ask anyone, do you like this? He's not the one who's going to call you like, how's my outfit? You just look self-sufficient.
Actually, yeah, and that's
It
such a
is.
compliment, by
It
the way.
is.
Yeah.
It's a compliment. It looks like even the way you create content, you're not seeking validation. You don't give a shit
What-
if you like it or
what-
not.
Let me start crying.
Yeah. He was
Nah,
warned
you're-
not to
yeah,
cry.
he was-
Okay, does that what
Do you
we
think
said?
that's accurate?
Ah,
What we
no,
just
yeah,
said.
yours is accurate.
Is it because it's positive? That's
No,
what we're
yeah,
saying.
I
It's
like the
accurate.
positivity.
Okay.
But like the last one leaning towards that, I'm like,
You don't feel like only children and last borns
no,
have similar
no.
energies?
Actually, it's very misconstrued.
Oh, okay.
Really?
That's
How
the first
so?
misconception.
It's because like there's always a sense of like he's alone. It's like he was born alone, so it means that he was either like babied too much, he got everything he wanted, and so on and so forth. So like last ones, I mean, only children are very, what do you call it, like self-centered and those kind of thing.
Right.
That's like the
Yeah.
last born type
Yeah,
behavior.
right. Mhm.
No,
And that's not the case.
mm-mm.
You are
You
not
think so?
self-centered. Oh, look around, everybody on mute. I thought so. I thought so.
I was not babied though.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
even
Really?
your mom content is just like, oh, he got all the love he needed,
But let
he
me-
lacked for
this is the
nothing.
thing
This
about
young
your
man.
content with your mom. With your mom. Every time I see it, I'm like, is it when I watch it, I'm just like, oh, he's such a mama's boy, or is that actually just a healthy dynamic between a mom and her son that we are not used to
You
because we
think
don't
so?
see it
I
often?
don't. I do
Yeah.
not see mama's boy at all. I see a boy who got the love and the nurture from a mother that he needed.
I bet whenever she's like,
Yeah.
no, but actually it was quite different because like she's also an only child.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so my mom is an only child, and then when she got me, I think she was young, and then she had lost her mom, and then she had come from Shags, and then came to Nairobi for the first time, and then like everything just went south, and there was this guy who was like taking advantage of the situation, like I'll help you, blah blah blah, and then now, hence this human,
Peace was born.
and then he
Peace
was
was
like,
born.
I am not
Then
in
he
this
said-
thing,
said
yeah,
peace
like
for
I'm not
real.
his dad, whatever. So I think now her growing up in a situation where she doesn't have like a means to an end, and then she has a child, like that was not like a place where you could have someone babied. It was actually quite the opposite. Like you had to grow up faster because either she was working the whole time, and like we didn't have money. Of course, we used to stay in like a tiny one-room house, not one bedroom, one room, like
Oh, bed
tiny
sitter.
room, yeah, bed sitter, and it was really tiny, yeah, in Kirinyaga Road. So like she'd go to work, then I'd have to take myself to school. Like I'd walk and come back by myself. Like I'd shower myself. Like I do a lot of things by myself. I'd actually walk from school to home, and I was like maybe in class 1, and I'd walk by myself with my bag and
That's younger than Kenny
navigate
right now.
the roads and everything. So yeah, and even like when we'd go for shopping and all those things, like I'd be the one to tell her like, yo, we don't have money. Like don't buy this for me. We need the money.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's very different. Maybe in cases where the parents are like maybe together and then they have resources, then that only child would be like super spoiled.
Proper,
Yeah.
But I think in that situation, I didn't get that. Yeah.
Was that the case? Like the economic struggles and whatnot. Was that the way it was all through you growing up? Like let's say until uni or whatever, or did it resolve?
I think it was getting better and better, but like for most of it, I think some of the biggest problems were like I could see her drive and everything. Like she was doing a lot. Like she was going to work. She had a small business she started, and then she threw me in this school where people are kind of bougie, so they're being dropped by cars and all these things. So like it was always like we need to get more and like get better than this. Yeah. So. That was the kind of the dynamic
So
all through. Yeah.
probably like because she wanted to give you like a good opportunity to go to a really good school, but this POV a lot of parents don't think about. Like if you take your black kid to an only white school, like so you can give them the best, but you're not thinking
about
that they're alone there.
Exactly,
in that, you know what, parents, you whatever you can do, you do your best.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who
Parent.
went to Brookhouse on scholarship, so we weren't as rich as the kids who were actually paying to be in Brookhouse. I can tell you.
Yeah.
So when people people are being dropped in helicopters, and you're just kind of like, wow,
Then the
Damn.
trips.
that's lovely. Yeah, the trips which
Like you have to
never
sit.
go
Yeah,
for.
you have to sit out.
You guys are going to Egypt. You guys are going to the UK.
Hey, yours
Woo!
was fancy. Us
Yeah.
guys are going to Mombasa and I couldn't go.
Oh.
Here,
I was
Mombasa
like,
down the
bruh.
road. Yeah, that's crazy. But would you
Yeah.
say then, okay, so she did her best to provide for you financially. Would you say that your emotional needs were always taken care of?
I think she was also struggling with figuring life by herself as well. So like even like most times during holidays and those kind of things, she'd drop me to either my grandparent, I mean my grand aunt, right?
Right.
And then I'd stay with my cousins, aunts, whatever, uncles, because they're the same age. So most of the times I'd be there. But of course, like I could see why she's doing all that. And I think her way of showing love was church. So like it's like
In
let's go to
all
church
African
together.
matriarchs, yeah.
Let's go to like let's do church things together and those kind of things. So I think that's how she expressed it most of the times. And she'd force me to say things like I love you. So yeah.
Oh, she
What do you mean
did
force
though.
you?
Yeah, I'm like, bruh. I'm in my cousins, whatever, my grandmother's house, and all my cousins are there. And then we're on the phone, and then she's like, "What do you say?" I'm like, "Huh? What
Is
do you
that
say?"
bad? Because I do that to my son all
Yeah,
the
I'm
time.
like, ah.
But I think it's good that you had the option. You knew that she loved you,
Yeah.
and she was telling you she loved you. It's okay that you can opt out, because you know a parent-child dynamic is like selfish on one side.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can reject your mom 24/7 and
Right?
it's fine.
But
you
you can
who-
never.
You can never, yeah,
you
that
can
would create
never.
some wound.
When I
Yeah.
said I love you to Ethan, he's just like LYT, LYT.
Yeah, I'm like,
And
oh,
he's like,
no,
you
what
know,
do they
like,
do
yeah, yeah,
nowadays?
you're chill,
This-
Yeah,
chill.
but
I'm
he
like,
knows.
what do you mean?
He knows.
Yeah, and once in a while he slips up and he's like, I love you too. He's like, wait, no, I didn't say that. I'm like, yeah, you did. And it's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the misconceptions, or one of the, I don't know if it's a misconception, what people think of only children is that kind of independence, like, you know, self-sufficient. But either way, I think you are that, no?
I guess, yeah, that's accurate in a
Yeah.
sense. Because, again, as I was saying, like, she was working most of the time. So I'd come from school by myself. Of course, like, I didn't have siblings in the house, so you're not playing with anyone else. And maybe they're neighbors' kids and maybe they're not there. So it's like, what do we do? Create imaginary friends,
You
okay.
didn't have iPads then.
There's no iPads.
Damn.
But they were like, what do you would call it? Bricks. Well,
Oh,
this, so you're
yeah.
like, these are children now. Now we are teaching.
Oh my God.
That's
Look at you, why you like,
so
Wait, you are using bricks as like other
yeah, like you
siblings.
create a classroom and then you talk to them.
Oh my God, you
And
talk
then-
to what? You talk to who? Bricks.
the bricks. And I want us all to think about this when you know, having a child and saying, I only want this one. Is that
Oh my God.
so? You,
God, I
so
can
you are
imagine
lonely.
him
You would
li-
say, I know. So you would say you were
I don't like
lonely.
in a sense, but she never knew it at that time because you didn't know
Yeah.
any better. Like I didn't know what it felt
Right.
to be with siblings and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but you'd get creative. Like
Right.
you'd find ways to entertain yourself,
Yeah.
and then you spend a lot of time with grown-ups. Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah.
why you end up kind of becoming almost
Yeah.
like a mini
Sure.
adult, because it's like
Exactly,
there are
yeah.
no other kids to relate with.
Yeah, so you have to like embrace the perspectives of people who are grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Did you feel jealous of like your cousins who had siblings or like friends in school and their siblings? Did you feel like, oh, I wish I had a brother, I wish I had a sister?
Oh yeah, I remember I used to call what do you call it? Like my cousins or whatever, like people in my life. I'd say that's my sister. Like 'cause-
Stop.
look at you
Give
guys.
a hug right now, man. Like, what?
No, I feel like like it was crazy because she'd leave me. She used to work in Steamer Plaza, and I used to go to school in Hospital Hill. So like you have to go up the hill.
Yeah.
So she'd leave me down there. Then she'd hand me to an older person, maybe a girl.
Yeah.
Most times it was girls. So it'd be like take him to school, make sure he gets to school. So like we're walking with the person, so they hold my hand until I get to school, and then they leave me there. So like there's this person used to do, I can't remember her name. She used to do that every time. She was in class 7 and I was in like class 1 or something. And then like she'd do that every day. So now whenever I'd go to class, I'd be like, yeah, that's my sister. So yeah, like you want that kind of thing because you see other people having
And
it,
probably
so,
as a
It's
kid,
yeah.
it doesn't really like you don't connect it like in a deeper way. Like wow, you
Yeah.
know, I'm craving this connection,
Yeah.
whatever. It's just like
Yeah,
my
it's like
sister.
that's my sister.
You
Yeah.
don't know why you're doing that.
Okay, so
I-
what are the things
wow.
that you did love about being an only child? Is there anything else that you felt like you didn't like as an only child? Because I think we started with the things which were harder. So what are the other things that you felt that were hard?
No, I think that was the biggest one, like the sense of, because it was a double dynamic. It's like an only child. and also like you're from a single mom situation.
Yeah,
So like
many dynamics there.
when kids are talking about my dad will beat your dad, I'm like, bruh.
He's not even here. Ooh.
Yeah, so like there's always that kind of, so it was like a balance of
Yeah.
like, is it this or this other thing? Yeah, but I think most of the time there was that craving of like community and that kind of thing. So even in nursery school, I didn't cry. Like when she left me in St. Francis, so she left me at the entrance, and all the kids were crying, like don't leave me, blah blah blah. Like she always says she looked back and she wasn't there. I was playing.
Because you're so used to, oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
you're
went to
with
meet other kids, and I'm like, yeah, let's play.
And because you're excited to meet other kids.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
interesting. Do you know what your attachment style is?
Hmm.
You come
I'm
across
more-
as a secure attacher. Me, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
No, to some extent, but I feel like there's also like
Avoidant.
avoidant. Yeah.
Yeah, avoidant children are the ones who like they just run and they don't give a shit about the mom. Yeah, yeah. A secure would be like a bit anxious but
Yeah,
settle.
right.
Like because obviously you're attaching from an attachment that
Yeah.
should be sad to
Right.
anyone, but you adjust. But an avoidant is like, okay,
Yeah, true.
Damn.
yeah.
What are my kids?
Yeah?
Anyway, I will
Okay,
assess that.
I'm glad you know. Let's talk about good things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
what
done.
is-
You've held it down on the top.
You know, I've been friends with an only child before, and I feel
Really?
like it's my friend who used to be my friend. Yeah, so she was an only child. And I remember just seeing her experience was a bit different because it's like she had both her parents in her life, and also they weren't like struggling financially. So like it's literally anything she wanted, she would get.
Get it, yeah.
But I could also tell that she really wished that she had a sister because like when we became friends, she would always be like, "This my sister, this my sister." So at some point, I was just like,
Honey,
I don't, yeah.
baby.
Exactly.
Doesn't work like that.
I actually said to lie when I'm with her because like she would really insist, and then we looked alike.
Yeah.
So people would always be like, "Oh, you guys twins?" Like, yeah, we are. We're actually twins. We are sisters.
Oh.
And I always be like, "Yeah,
Oh my
we're sisters."
God.
Meanwhile, I had 3 actual sisters, so it was always
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah. But I always saw it more from a point of like, wow, it must be really lonely.
Yeah,
I
to
guess,
do
but
it.
she grew up to be like a super hyper independent person,
Yeah.
like the person who can do everything for themselves in the group. They're the ones always planning the trips, the ones who are always like in charge of things because she's like super hyper independent.
Yeah.
Which I saw as a positive thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most only children have that hyper independence. And actually, we did put a question box, and you follow us on Instagram, so
Right.
you know. You
Yeah.
saw the question
You saw
box.
it, didn't you?
Anyway, and one of the things was like, the hyper independence is not by choice! Exclamation mark.
yeah.
I was like, oh my
Yeah, he was
God.
left to play with bricks, Lydia. The
I
bricks were
will
his
never
students.
ever get over this, Victor. I will never get
No,
over
just like
this.
him with the little.
We said we
You even
shouldn't
beat
cry,
them.
but what?
Yeah, that is actually so sad. Like,
my God.
No, but it was normal, like even
Yeah, because
But
You
there's
know
no way you can
different-
tell us
Yeah.
that story and you expect us to be unmoved.
yeah, and now I'm just thinking you exactly the way you are, but like tiny.
Leo, yes, Leo, like that in the house talking to bricks. I'm shattered. I will
Right.
never
Yeah.
get past this
Exactly,
and
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
So okay, one more hard question.
Okay.
I don't know if it's one more, but let's just
Yeah, let's
say
see,
it's
let's see.
one hard more. Now, like all of the things that you like, your perspective as an only child, where you felt like you felt lonely, you wish like you had community, you became like independent, and I guess even the way you were saying you're creative, you're really creative.
Thank you.
So you know,
Yeah.
it started with
The
talking
brick.
to
You
bricks
see, yeah.
and making bricks children.
one brick at a
You
time.
know what I mean? One
Exactly,
brick
brick
at a
by
time.
brick.
Yeah, so you're really creative.
Yeah.
Is there any way now, like some of those things that weren't so good have shaped your relationships, how you are friends with people, or your romantic relationships?
No, I guess yeah, for sure. Like
Oh.
I can see the manifestation of it.
Okay.
Like, because like one of the biggest things I struggle with is like getting deeper into relationships with people, so especially
Okay.
new people.
Mm.
So like my friend Zakol is like super tiny, and even like so every time I'm like this year, like actually every time I read my resolutions for the year, I'm
year
like
making friends.
make 2 friends. Yeah. And then I started. I'm like,
What is
yeah.
that?
So
What is
like,
that?
yeah, because like I feel like whenever someone wants to connect,
Mm.
I run away. Like I close up and I
Right.
disappear.
That's
like,
Because
I'm
you're
like,
used to being
yeah,
alone, or you're
yeah.
used to your own
I think
space.
it's too
Mm.
like when I think about it, I think it's like from a 2-point perspective. It's like there's that part where I'm used to being alone and I feel
Right.
like I'm self-sufficient, and then there's this other part where I think now based on like growing up with my dad's situation, like how whatever. So the rejection. So it's like, let me protect myself before you
Right.
come into
Yeah.
my space, and then I invest so much, and then you do something
doesn't
stupid, and
work
then now
out,
it doesn't
right.
work out, and
Yeah.
I'd have been better
Yeah.
not exploring that. Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
That's so
The
like
more
interesting.
I hear you speak, I'm just like, it hits me how complex we are as human beings. Like, there are so many layers to how we turn out. Like, you are only child, but also your mom was an only child.
yeah.
Then there's the single motherhood. There's the relationship with your dad. Then there's the fact that you're a man. Then there's the fact that you're an African. Then there's like, there's just so
It's like
many
too many,
layers. Like,
like
oh my
things that
god.
contribute. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's really self-aware. I think I can see that, and it's so interesting. You're saying your friend who had both parents, had everything, became hyper independent.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you too. So I think that's a thing with like only children. Maybe you guys can tell us, like, are you an only child who is not hyper independent? Maybe we pick one
Right, yeah.
from out of
Yeah.
those. But I mean, that makes sense. Are you in therapy?
I've done it
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm
Go
not
off,
right
King.
Now?
Yeah.
Love it.
Now?
No, no, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay as long as you know it's there.
Like,
How come?
I don't know. Like, I don't think I've had the time to. Okay, I have time,
Right.
but I have a lot of
Sir,
time.
you
yeah.
have time. You've
But
got
I think
the
the initiative to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want, like, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd do it
Okay.
again. So, yeah.
On this podcast, we always recommend that people should
always
go
do.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the things that you'd say you loved about being an only child,
Like, I'd do anything.
or even love 'cause
When
you're
I
still an
want.
only child, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, I'd do it. Like, if I decide to do something, I don't need to consult. There's no group dynamics.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think? No, what do you think? And that really kills me, especially like when I'm planning something. I'm like, just tell me, let's go,
Really.
and
Right.
I'll show up. Like, don't give me
My
a lot of
options, my
voices and
word,
things, opinions. I'm like,
Yeah.
But I think it also affects even like what we're talking about, like even work wise,
Mm.
because I'm so used to, like, if I see a way, I believe that's the right way, and I'll go ahead and do it. So now when you, let's say, submit a piece of content to a client, and then they start, I'm like, bruh,
You're like, what? Listen.
I know this is the way.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think it's like a quickness in decision making.
Yeah, which can be all of these things can be like really positive, but
Yeah,
they
and
can
also, like,
With
yeah.
a balance.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like now us, it's like because I have 3 siblings, it's like you're always cross-checking, guys. I want to like this weekend we are going to Shags, and like, okay, guys, I'm booking this accommodation. Is this good for everyone?
Yeah.
Can you guys respond? Can you whatever? And that's just like the dynamic I'm used to. You
Yeah.
see, so so when I meet then now people like you, I'm like, what a selfish, selfish
Only
person.
your
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking of yourself, but also it's efficient. Like you
It's very
said,
efficient.
you
I'm
move
like,
faster,
things happen.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
things
also, does that
happen.
mean that you seek validation less or you seek validation more, like from outside?
Actually, don't.
You look
Like,
like you don't.
I just do my thing. Like, if it works out, like you learn to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a positive, because I know
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not yet died yet, so I'm sure whatever I'm
Well,
doing is.
It's all right.
Yeah, and the best kind of
Being
content
alive
creators
is the
I feel
bar.
like are like that, because like I can always tell the content of someone who is like they want people's approval, because like you're creating like more of like, this is what I know people will like or whatever. Your
Yeah.
style is very unique. It's very you. And then
free.
yeah, it's
I
very free.
can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that. When I look at your content, I feel like what you're basically telling me is you like it or you don't. Either
Exactly.
way, it is what it is, and there's something so refreshing.
But I feel the same
about that.
about your content as well.
Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
do whatever
Yeah.
you want,
Content
right?
as
well.
Like,
Yes,
even
exactly.
here we are right now.
No,
Just
I
doing
don't
whatever
know.
you want.
There's something specific.
Or is
There's a
it because
lightness.
for us we just feel like women are made that way, like we tend to be like freer in our communication and expression, whereas for men it's like it's very few men that you see being able to communicate
One.
and express themselves the way
That's
he
true.
does.
I wouldn't
yeah.
compare you with like another woman creator because women are different.
Exactly.
And also, I don't know. I can't look at me and your content that way because we are friends. So
Yeah.
it's like I know all the time we ask each other, should I do this? But whatever.
Exactly.
So I can't see it from an objective POV.
Exactly.
But yeah, especially for a guy,
Yeah.
there's like a kind of freedom of expression that you have that I can see why you have the position you have in like the content creation industry,
Right.
because most men I don't think usually have that.
Yeah.
For sure.
You and your mom have a really positive relationship now, it
love
seems,
it.
right? Has there ever been a time where it's just kind of like your relationship has struggled?
I think for the longest time, because I think so when she got married, I think, and all this is a conversation we had with her before. So like I felt like she abandoned me in a sense. Maybe the selfishness in me again, because I thought this was my person. Because it was always the
Now.
two of us, like
Mm.
every day, wake
Yeah.
up, go to school, whatever. Everything was just the two of us.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden she just brings up that I met someone
love.
and I think I'm gonna get married, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy for you.
Why you
So
happy for
look,
that?
like my calculation was I'm going to high school, boarding, number one. So I wouldn't be there. So maybe you need someone to. I wouldn't be there for the whatever she
Things.
decided to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, okay, it makes sense for you. So I think from that point we drifted for the longest time
Oh yeah.
until I think after now this whole divorce thing.
Mm.
Actually, when I like during my marriage
Which-
is when
Oh,
you're
your divorce.
yeah,
My God, I was like, yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
yeah.
you're
So
divorced. Okay.
I think that's when it hit her. She was like, oh my god, oh,
he needs me.
I think I have a person, I have a son.
Mm.
Yeah, but before, yeah, like we never. I think we still struggle even up until now, like in terms of conversation,
Mm.
because like I'd be like, I'm not used to you being in my business a lot,
Mm.
because we were very like independent. Like she was like, you know what you need to do, and because I always did it, and I was always trying to be the best person. So if it's school, I'd study. I didn't need to be told. Gee, the TV being shut or all those things. I never used to get those things.
Yeah.
She's never like, this is your curfew. There's no curfew, because she knew like he'd
You just do the right
yeah,
thing.
the right thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
need to follow him. So now all of a sudden I'm like, why are you trying to be friends?
Ooh, right.
So like, yeah, it's a weird. I'm trying to adjust to that as well. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
One, I think it's fair, like for you to have felt that way, like when she got married. And I think most kids, even including me, when my mom first had like the first man who came in the space, it felt very like you're robbing me. Like, first of all, okay, so my dad's not around, and now you want to take up mom's. I think
Yeah.
not.
No,
So I
I
think
don't
that
think
one is
so.
like kind of almost universal for kids to struggle
Yeah.
with. As far as I was thinking about, you said your mom is an only child. So then is she like hyper independent the way that she is? And then so she kind of expects that of you. So both of you
Yeah.
are very hyper independent that way.
I think that's how we grew up.
Okay.
Like she was doing her thing, and then I was doing my thing, and yeah, like we'd have intersections. Yeah, it was so funny. Like even like things like grades, I never had got scolded for grades. I even used to feel bad. I'm like, because like I'd go back to school and guys are like, oh my god, I'm so scared. If I go home, blah blah blah, my parents are going to beat me because I failed. I was like,
What?
like I took my
Yeah.
report card and I placed it on a table, and she was just like, so
And it was always
Auntie
good.
Nani did.
Right.
Like even in the
but you
when I
weren't like
failed,
you weren't failing.
there was a time I was like being like I think in class 5 I was like like 18, number 18 out of maybe 30, and for her she was like that was not good. But I think she just said that and then started other conversations.
Oh,
Right.
interesting.
So I was like, wait,
Right.
I don't get this intensity you guys talk about.
Oh.
So it could come across as like, oh, she really trusts you.
Yeah,
but really,
but also
it's
like,
coming
I'm
across more
like,
like, does
do
she
you care? Yeah, exactly. It's like a weird balance. I'm like,
Have you ever had that conversation with her about like her being that way as you are growing up?
I know, yeah. Yeah, but she was also going through a lot. She was trying to figure out life and piece things together.
Yeah.
And she also doesn't have like I wouldn't say like okay like extended family is there, but she doesn't have siblings, so she also doesn't have someone to fall back on.
Yeah.
So it's like it's her or no one else.
Yeah.
Right.
So even Ash was like focused on like getting things done. So I understood as like, yeah,
So
Let me tell I feel like okay, sorry, go ahead.
one of the things that I saw people, one of the other things that only children want you to know is about perfectionism. Like, because you kind of have to get it right. It's just you.
Yeah.
There is no like
Yeah, exactly. There's
anyone
no
else. So
fallback,
it's
yeah.
like you just, even that kind of being independent is that like you're trying to be as great
Yeah.
for your
you
parent
even
as
mentioned that
possible.
like even in school you are like you're trying to be a good
Yeah.
boy, you're trying to be
Yeah.
whatever. Do you feel that pressure even now like to succeed because when do tegemeo?
I think it's there. Like it used to be there a lot, especially because I was like, there's this funny quote like when I meet other only children, like we always laugh about, and it's always like, if you fell on a pavement right now, the whole lineage is gone.
Done.
That's it.
It's you.
The house of peace
Yeah,
is
it's gone.
Finished.
yeah.
So like yeah, there's always a sense of pressure where you need to like especially now because of what I say, like she never used to like follow through, so she trusted me to do something.
Yeah.
So it was up to me to find motivation with like within to make sure everything is falling into place.
Right.
So like I wouldn't get into trouble. Like I was always the I'd go to Sunday school 3 times on Sunday, bruh. I'd be the one reading Bible verses. I'd be the one leading praise and worship. I'd be like doing all these things, man. Yeah, so it was like I need to get it right.
Did you want for her to say, "I'm proud of you, Victor. Thank you
Yeah.
for being amazing"?
And I think those are the moments, those are the highlight moments in my life, like when she was really happy about, like she didn't need to think about what I'm doing, and she's like, "You're doing well." Then that would really, yeah, be something.
You know, now the more that you speak, the more I feel like actually only children are more like middleborns than lastborns.
More ignored.
Finally,
Exactly. You're actually, yeah.
I've got you closer.
Yeah. I think it's actually the same because middleborns, we also had that thing of like, because you're in the middle, it's like your parents, they're like, we don't have to worry about Nini. But actually, you want them to care. You want them
Like,
to
see
worry.
me.
But so now you try to be the best. But the more best you are, the less they worry
want
about
to,
you and
exactly.
ask about you, because now they're like, we know you, your grades are good. We know you, your whatever.
Yeah.
We know you're going to do the whatever.
So,
Yeah. It is actually like, and it's, I guess from a parent's perspective, I don't imagine that they are doing it maliciously. Obviously, they're not seeing it that way. In fact, to them, it's just like, wow, you're succeeding.
Good
So
boy, yeah.
everything is working out
All
right.
less thing to worry
When
about.
actually, the child just wants you to be like, you know, I love your grades. This is amazing, you know,
Yeah.
but you don't get that.
Yeah. So
Gosh,
Yeah.
guys.
yeah, look at you.
Yeah, Lydia, we really went through a lot. We really went through a lot. Yeah.
But I see you both clearly, okay?
Do you?
Aw.
I do. I see you.
Thank you so much. But you know something, you said also something about how like your mom was also going through like life, so like she's raising you but she's also growing up, and it makes me feel like how there are days where I literally come from being called all kinds of names on the internet, like people have been dragging me left, right,
Yeah.
and center, but you get home and your daughter still wants you to whatever, and that's
The
when you're
you,
emotionally
yeah.
spent, like you are so emotionally drained,
Yeah.
and you're just not able to show up for them in that moment the way they would. Those are the times they'll be talking about in therapy.
Yeah.
How I came home and I said this to my mom, and she was like,
Doesn't
yeah,
say
Yeah,
it.
and it
exactly.
stands out so
And
much
I
in
was
their
probably
brain.
at that
Yeah.
moment I was just like, good job, Mukeni,
Yeah.
like great. But she wanted me to be like, oh my god, this is great, whatever.
Amazing.
And you know, it's just like, yeah,
It's
your mom was
hard.
also just living.
No, she's
you
just
know?
she was just a girl. So
She was. And you are young as well. You know, when I think about like even right now, we are all in our 30s. We are the same age, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are all the same age, all of us.
Okay.
On this set,
Okay.
it's like 34,
Okay.
34, 34, all of us.
You can vie for presidency.
Thank you. Shut, please.
Anyway, we are
It hurts.
close.
It hurts.
Words hurt. Words hurt. Right now you think about the things that you're still struggling with to
Right.
navigate through right now. And like my mom had me at 25,
imagine.
right? And right now,
You are 9.
Oh,
You'd be you are 9. Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like to imagine that what we expect of our parents around that time, it's
was a
like to
lot.
be emotionally in
Yeah, it was a
tune,
lot.
for you to be present, for you to just know when I walk in exactly what I
Yeah.
need and
Yeah.
have it
Yeah.
right there. And if you don't, I internalize I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy,
Yeah.
you
She's
hate
Not
me.
prioritizing my
You know
needs.
what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And to be honest,
It's
it's
a bit
like for
selfish if you
sure
think
we
about
do
it.
here, especially we validate the we honor the hurt that was caused intentionally or unintentionally by our parents. We honor that, but the more you think about it as you get older, you're just like,
Yeah.
you
I
what
get
the hell
you,
do
yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Baby,
Like, I
you
get
don't
you.
know nothing.
Especially when you now have
God.
kids, and then now you're just like, you can see the expectation they have, and it's just like,
Bruh.
I
don't
empathize
have
from the
more.
outside,
Yeah.
from the outside in, knowing that some of the things I'm navigating, even now I'm navigating through grief. And what do you need? You want me
Yeah.
to jump and down about this fish that you drew that looks like a cat
Exactly.
and stick it on the refrigerator
say,
and
wow.
we celebrate.
Yeah.
Ah! You know, it's like I don't have it in me, baby. I
Don't.
don't.
Yeah, and they'll just remember that
Oh my-
3 months where mommy was really sad and she didn't come to any of my plays, and that's the time I got chosen for basketball team, but she didn't come to that game. That's what
That's
they're
what they'll
gonna
remember for sure. But eventually,
What's,
they,
what
Eventually they
it does,
understand, yeah.
it evens out, but
Yeah.
it's like it's late.
and does it even out? because we're here having conversations because we found ways to be well adjusted.
Yeah.
But there are many people who did not adjust to some of the things that they went through. They just didn't.
This is the
True.
cycle of life now. What are we
my
gonna do?
God.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my, yeah. Anyway, sorry. What's the moral of the story?
The moral-
Don't have kids.
Speaking of, do you
Damn.
want to have kids?
I used to want to a lot.
Mm.
Then eventually now with everything and all these like all these things and the thoughts, all these
Yeah.
conversations you're having, I'm just
True.
like maybe one.
So they
After
can
everything you have been through, after everything you have been through, you would say this.
I can even feel a breeze from your
Yeah,
hands.
Jacob, you want them to suffer.
Are
One
you kidding?
child.
Remember the bricks. Remember the bricks,
yeah.
Victor.
One child with two parents. What do you mean?
No,
it's
it's not the
still-
same.
Because you're not gonna be. Trust me, you're not gonna be coming home from having had
Also,
a full day of immersion. And
Another
then you're playing them
reaction
in their
to
bricks.
this could be, it is your choice to have the kids that you want.
This is not
And
that
one
kind of podcast.
It's
This is
not.
not that kind
One
of podcast.
is, in
It's not
fact,
my choice.
No, here we judge. Here we judge. What can we say?
Yo,
One only.
I don't know. Like I just feel like it's a lot, especially with this time. The
It's
time
not
we
him we
have.
need to talk to, guys. We know who we need to talk to.
Exactly.
Sorry.
I don't want to just.
He'll be
It's gonna
fine.
be alright.
It's gonna be alright, don't worry.
Yo.
Yeah. When your mom got married, do you feel like you harbored any like, oh, maybe they'll have another child?
Actually, my dream was to get siblings because my mom had a twin. So of course, like it skips
So there's
one.
twins in your
So
future.
Wait, stop.
yeah,
Your mom's an only child, but she had a twin.
no, when she was born, yeah, she had a twin, but
Oh, right.
the twin
passed.
passed. Yeah,
Okay.
when she was So then now I thought, okay, maybe I'll get like siblings now, and then the siblings will be able to sing, and then we can form a band. Then we'd sing together.
Make Lydia cry again.
Today,
Wow.
too much, guys.
Yeah, I used to think about that a lot. Yeah, but then again, now I found siblings, right? Because now my stepdad came with two kids, so now I had like
Okay.
step siblings,
Are you guys
you
close?
and then yeah, relatively,
Mhm.
and then it still feels like, but
Because you were older.
yeah, like we're old. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh, now you're brothers and sisters. I'm like,
But it's been like 20 years now.
yeah. But you see, like even the time, like I'm
Now
going
you're
to
both
high
more
school.
mature,
When
you're
everyone is going
older,
to high school,
right,
everyone is
yeah.
like, then uni again. Now moved out completely and never went back.
Yeah.
And then and then now found my biological dad had like 9 kids. Yeah. So
Oh, brother.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
so now we meet. Like I've met all of them, but it's
Really?
because of the funeral and everything. But now at least I meet one of them once in like a period of time. But it was interesting to be like,
Your
Like, there are
family
people.
tree.
Damn. And when he
Who
says
look
the
like me.
funeral, he means when
The-
his
Oh,
my- when
biological
my
dad
biological-
passed
yeah,
away.
exactly,
yeah.
Years ago. Yeah. Whoa. Do they look like you?
yeah, we look alike. I think one is known. He works in EBL.
Oh,
My husband
really?
works in
It's called
EBL.
Eugene Masika.
He sounds familiar. Did he once work
Yeah,
at
he looks
BT?
like me, but he has dreadlocks.
Really?
Yeah, he shows me that I could grow hair as well and have
Yeah.
dreadlocks.
Hold on. Hold tight. Hold tight.
So does that make you feel like you're part of a community or something?
It's very complicated. I'm just like, because they are the ones who were raised by him. So to me, it always feels like, then what was my
resentment?
problem? Yeah,
Well,
like
they all have
why
the same
weren't you
mom.
there for no, like different moms?
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
The family tree.
So you feel
grows.
resentful.
No, like to some nowadays I'm not
Mm.
because also like I've heard stories about what he used to be like to them.
Right.
And I'm like,
It's
oh,
like, oh,
dodged
thank
a bullet.
God
Yeah, I'm
you
like,
were here.
me and my mom were good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This is a lot. Like
a
what
lot,
you
eh?
what you're sharing is a lot. It feels really
We would
Like-
gently recommend therapy. But do you know what?
Yeah.
I think you have like a really good self-awareness
Yeah.
about all of this, and it doesn't seem like it's something that you're ignoring and pretending that isn't
no.
there. I think like it's there in the surface.
I think
Yeah.
because I think one of the biggest things I heard was the only way out is through. So like you let things flow, don't stop them. So
Yeah.
I won't be like, I will not feel this.
right.
Like I'll just feel it and let it pass.
And let it go.
Yeah.
It's true.
do you feel like your I don't know if this is an appropriate question to
Yeah.
ask, but feel free not to answer and we can carry out if you want.
Okay.
Do you feel like your only childness had any bearing in who and how you were in your marriage and its eventual dissolution?
Of course, yeah, I feel like it was the root of my need to get married at that time, because like all through, like I've been alone, and the goal has been now
create
you
your
do it
family.
right.
Yeah.
Because like he did
Oh,
not do it right, so now you grow up really fast and do it right. So I was like very young, I was like 23. I was eager. I was like, let me start a family.
Yeah.
So get married, stick to the
You're
family.
23.
Yeah, and then eventually maybe get kids, and then now do it right. So I think that's what made me rush into even like making such decisions. Yeah.
yeah. And what does for
Yeah.
you? What did getting it right look like?
I think just having the standard,
Mm-hmm.
like dad, mom, children,
Kids.
like
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
And now we've whatever you call it, like broken the only
People-
child curse.
Yeah,
And that's
right.
in my head. That was what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But life teaches you.
I want to empathize with
Yeah.
that because I have that getting it right thing. Well, I had it anyway, and it took so long for me to get that there is no getting it right.
There's no-
Like it
yeah.
took so long to break through that
Exactly.
because I think it's some way of trying to heal your own wounds.
Exactly.
But like if I get it right for someone else and we change this, it's like it somehow makes your inner child feel like
yeah, it's
okay.
like like you're saying sorry to your inner child.
Exactly.
But
Do you
Try
truly
to make
believe
it
there is no getting it right?
But as far as getting it right, not like my parents didn't get it wrong the way I view it as getting it wrong. Like the decision for them to separate wasn't wrong. It was actually the best decision that could have happened.
God,
So
yeah.
unless we go back and we're just like getting it right was never meeting him, then I'm not even here for this to even have
Yeah, you're
happened.
right, yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
kind of shifting that concept of like what was wrong and what was right about that situation. And this chase of like once I get like this man who's like very different and we have this family, it's like you think the void will go.
Yeah,
it
no,
won't.
it won't, yeah.
It will not go. So like
Yeah.
my therapist was trying to help me adjust that idea that once you do, it's like, oh, boom, healed.
Yeah,
Done.
Life
definitely
is good.
no.
It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a dream you still have though, to get married and have kids?
No, not really. If it happens, it happens. Nowadays, I'm not very fixated in terms of like social norms and outcomes, because I think that really shook me, because everything I'd believed in my entire life was like completely overhauled in like one moment.
Yeah.
So then I stopped now trying to control outcomes, and I chose to like accept the outcome of life, like in whatever ways it's going to, like I'll show up as my best self and do everything I can to live like my best life. And if anything else comes, then I'm good. If it doesn't, like I'm just
Right. I feel like when I watch your content, it definitely gives that like I'm living my best life like right now. You're not
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah.
for whatever. And in fact, sometimes when I watch your content, it gives very much metrosexual in a good way. So metrosexual is like men who are actively concerned, let me say actively concerned about their appearance, their space, in a way that is usually related to femininity,
Femininity, yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so when I watch that, I'm always like, is that only childness, or is that just you, who your character or your personality is as a person? And I wonder if those two can be separated, because sometimes when I watch, like, it's like you're like Lydia in terms of like the way you care for your space, and like what even more so actually, because you're super hyper vigilant with
Especially with your
the way
home.
you with your home, exactly. And I'm like, would you still be that way if you are not an only child?
Someone
you know?
said to us though that metrosexual was a word which was kind of homophobic in a way to separate heterosexual men from
Yeah.
not seeming at all like they can be associated with with homosexual men. So they
Yeah.
found like a middle name so that they can detach themselves. We acknowledge that, but you know what we mean.
You know what we
Because
mean, yeah.
I've seen that comment like twice now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it happened when, like, even all this whole cleaning thing and everything, I think it became more prevalent after like the marriage, because now I had my space.
Right.
was
That's
like-
how domesticated was born.
Yeah, and also like growing up, it was me and my mom, so there were no gender roles. I never saw gender roles in my life.
Wow.
So it was like, Victor, as I wash the floor, go wash the dishes. So I'm like, okay. So today you can cook this, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. You'll wash your clothes, okay. I'm like, so in my head it was never
That's
like
a huge
men need to
positive.
do
Very
this
whole.
and
Yeah.
women need to do it. It's never been like that. So I think now being in my own space now, I was like, I have this whole thing to myself. So how about like let me explore things that I enjoy, like because I like clean spaces,
Yeah.
and I felt like even in terms of therapy, like that was like seeing an empty, like a white and clear space. It gave peace to my mind. Yeah, so I was like, let me just keep it that way. Because now, if you shake anything, now I'm like, the whole world is not in order.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I really hope your
Yeah.
girl
Yeah. Is that a control thing?
I know she's worse, man.
Is there a control thing?
I don't
like wanting
know.
to,
I
like,
also
have
don't
things?
even like. There's also that misconception because guys come in the house and most of the
like,
times they just stand at the counter, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like just sit down. Like if you spill or someone has spilled wine in the house and then they're like, then the whole house went quiet and I was like, guys, like chill out, man. Like
No,
I'm-
it doesn't give off.
yeah, I'm
It
serious.
doesn't
Don't say things you don't mean,
I'm
sir, because
serious.
it's not giving
Because
chill
I'm like,
out.
I have
no.
a storage, I have all these products I can
Like,
clean.
Carrying like
like-
this,
Yeah,
carrying your
exactly.
juice like
No.
this.
And I'm not drinking red wine in your house. Maybe white.
Never.
It was
White.
actually
I
red
can't
on the
even wear
couch. Yeah,
colour.
And yeah, no,
I
no,
can't
no.
wear
In
color.
case
You
something,
come in beige. You see, these are the colors
you come in
acceptable
even
in that
you
house.
see these ones, yeah.
Beige only.
Go like
Or
that.
Let me see
like-
red.
I'm actually
Nah.
not. Actually, I don't really
But
care.
I think people project that.
Yeah,
people
people
project that
think,
because
yeah.
since you
Definitely.
care so much, it's like I want to also be careful. I don't want to be,
No,
that one person.
I'm actually like express yourself however you want.
Yeah,
And I feel like now her on the other hand, now she's the one who's like, yeah.
really.
Like, yeah, like the
More
spoons are
intense.
not facing left.
You kind of needed
I
to
say,
end up
yo.
with someone like that.
Someone like that.
because if you,
If you go left,
yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, yeah.
What position born is she?
See, same thing.
Only child.
Stay tuned for another episode coming soon. What it's like when an only child is an only child.
Yeah. What is that dynamic like? And also, first of all, from your in the perspective of romantic relationships, is there like, because you're used to having your own space, so is that like
yeah.
kind of annoying, one, to share your own space, and not just like physically, but even like socially, like having someone here? Or do you feel like it's like, oh, community?
Yeah.
It's actually, it's like a mix of both.
Really?
So it's like you to find the balance because one can either, like, can become too much as well, right?
Okay.
Because now I've met someone who's also like, I'm the only one and she's the only one, so it's like we're leaning to each other for a lot of like
Support and
emotional
all that.
support and all these
Right.
things. So it can, yeah. So and then there's moments where you're like, no, I'm used to being alone, so maybe go do something else. Like let's do something else separately. Yeah. So I think
think-
communication really helps. Yeah.
Only children, you guys, if you do ever end up getting married, but I feel like your house would need to have like there's a bedroom for you guys together, but there's also a bedroom for
That has
yours
always been
and
my
a bedroom
idea.
for, yeah. And I
It's
think it's a
like
good idea. By the way, I think it
Connecting
works.
rooms.
That's
Yeah.
So
really
have
nice.
one door
yeah.
so that kids are like, oh, no, they're still together.
They love each other.
Then,
Yeah.
then you enter and then it's like 2 rooms.
Yeah.
It honestly makes sense, by the way, because
No.
they're even me now,
I
as
think
someone
it makes
who's
sense for
not an only-
everyone.
Then I'm like, if you want to paint your room pink,
right?
do whatever you want there.
And have all your clothes where you want them, and you can put even
Exactly.
the room smells how I
Yeah.
want it to smell. Like
And then you can have sleepovers.
that would be lovely, but not really sleepover. It's more like sex over. So it's like
yeah,
we come, we have sex,
yeah.
we cuddle
No,
a
that's
bit,
a
and
cud-
then
yeah.
You're done.
that's it. Your time here
They go
is
back.
up.
Hashtag
Get up.
marriage works.
Exactly.
Follow for more marriage
Come on.
content on TMI.
Jesus.
From me?
Yeah,
No.
come on. Because that could be tough.
No, man, it's like communication.
Yeah. Have you ever used the phrase "but I'm an only child" as an excuse for anything?
I think for such moments
Oh.
when I want to be alone, or like when I want to withdraw from people, or like when I don't text back, or like when
When you don't text back.
I don't know, like I not
Victor Peace
not in my
Karanja.
relationship. That one has precedence of everything.
Or
Okay.
before.
But like with other people,
other
those guys are like, you
randoms.
don't even talk back. You don't even want to meet. You don't. I'm like,
Yeah, I know, guys. I'm an only
hi,
child.
yeah. Me, I was raised alone, so
Yeah.
I'm used to being
Also,
alone.
him in his journal, I don't know why I can't make friends.
Friends, yeah.
I'm
Every
something I'm
resolution.
struggling with. I'm struggling,
But a text back
Exactly.
is
Is that
above
the
him.
line?
That's where he draws the
it's
line.
giving Lydia, who says she wants to date, but like let
Yeah.
a man look in her direction.
I really think that is untrue. It's about the man who's
And-
looking my direction.
Oh,
I will not
the
look.
difference between
Ah.
flirting and harassment.
Then it is a thin.
It's like, yeah, you look a certain way. You look
The
like
type of man, yeah.
that's it. It depends on who is looking. Because
It
Lydia's
depends.
resting bitch face is really
Can
a
I help
resting
you?
bitch face. Yeah.
You need the
Sometimes
time.
I'm like, Lydia, he
It's
likes
one
you.
seventy.
Yeah.
Trying to,
Oh
she's
no,
like-
actually, to be honest, I need to walk around with someone on my side
Yeah,
to
no,
tell
yeah.
you-
Literally-
to tell me who's looking and who likes me.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, can your face look like you're happy to
Why?
be here? Like someone can
Why?
speak to you.
But no, we're changing, guys. Okay, 2025, we're changing. I swear.
Okay,
But
yeah,
not now.
for
You're
sure.
still healing. Maybe next month.
Huh?
Next month.
Next month for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some other only children. There's
Confessions.
only child trauma. Some people say that they feel more like a firstborn than actually like an only child because like it's you get all the
All the
responsibility.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's the same thing I said. Like, you feel like the lineage is rested upon you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Have
like
you-
whatever you do has to.
Yeah, it
You know
gotta
that
work.
you blame your. Okay, no, maybe you,
Yeah.
maybe someone else.
Mm.
It's like you blame your grandparents. You're like, if they just stole land,
I
we'd
say
have
that
been
all the
fine right now. Yeah. So I'm the guy now
where
supposed to
were
be
you?
doing
You
that.
should have.
Yeah,
And what are you
honestly,
doing?
Please, steal something. Integrity is overrated. Honestly, I'd
Yeah.
say that. Yeah. Do you what was I just supposed to say? I've lost my thoughts. Sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Another misconception is that only children don't know how to share. Is that true? Is it like
Yes.
that banana I left there? I better goddamn find
Yeah.
it there.
And actually now my mom I think countered that
Mm.
because every time when I was really young, like she'd bring something and then she'd tell me to go round, like
And
go
share.
knock to like
Oh.
on other people's doors,
So you
like
do know
other
how to share.
babies. Yeah.
But do you
So-
prefer not to share?
No, now I'm like I give out everything. Now the what I struggle with is the opposite, because now as the one who's doing that, I don't know how it feels to get it.
Oh.
So I'm always like,
like your
like
20th
don't
oh,
give
this
me.
episode,
I
yeah.
don't want to be given. Like don't buy for me.
right.
Yeah, it's just like
Damn.
yeah.
Hey. When I was growing up, whenever I would fight with my sisters, I would always be like, "Oh God, I wish I could be an only child." But this conversation has healed that.
Actually, now when I got into that whole thing, like when my mom got married,
Mm.
and then now I had the step siblings, it was so not interesting. I was like, yo, you guys are hostile.
Ooh.
Because
right.
like she'd bring something, and then I remember it got so bad. My sister would come and take a ruler and like measure the cake.
That's
It's
how
like-
we grew up.
So this is yours. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
That's how we grew up. Literally, even like measuring at your pouring soda, it needs
Yeah,
to be
I'm like, why?
exact. Literally, it can be a drop like this. That is, it's just. Anyway, there's this trend on TikTok that I see where it's like people who have siblings, like when you like having interactions with people who are only children. So it's like, let's say you walk here and you're eating a cookie, and I'm like, oh, where are their cookies? And you're like, oh, they're just like outside there.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you didn't bring, because you see when you're siblings, I
I don't
always think, let me
think
get
about
mine
other
and for my
people,
kids. It's
yeah,
like, you're like,
exactly.
no, they're out there. You can just go
And also, I'm
get-
like, I'm not mean to you. Like, if you need it,
just
like if
go-
you have, like for example, if you're having dinner or something,
Yeah.
and you're eating together, and then you start coming to take things from my plate, I'm like, don't do that. But if you want, I can buy. Like,
Oh,
but this is mine. But if you want,
This is mine. That's the
Yeah,
only
this
children
is mine,
touch,
right?
like,
Yeah,
this is mine.
Yeah,
yeah, like why are you coming?
No.
Like, if you want some, just ask. I'll get you.
yeah. No,
some.
now with siblings, it's like everything. It's mine. It's ours. Like, because you used to always be told, give your sister, share with your sister, cut for your sister, have the sausage. You see,
I never had that. Yeah, so
Damn.
I'm only like, there's no
What's the
scarcity.
look on your face, Lydia?
I'm more like I'm just intrigued.
You
You
know,
know?
like there's no scarcity.
Yeah.
Like why are we fighting over anything?
Yeah.
Just ask and you'll get it.
Yeah. It's just scarcity was just like, there's no like communal experiences.
You know, like that.
Everything is individual.
No, but at that time you don't feel that way. I
Mm.
don't know about community.
Yeah.
It's just me, right?
Yeah.
So whenever it's there, I know even if I leave it here in the
Oh,
fridge, even
right.
10 days
Wow,
later,
yeah,
it's
it
still
will
going
just
to be there.
Yeah.
So now am I leaving things in the fridge and then I come back and there's nothing?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
bruh.
That's
That's
our life.
interesting.
Exactly.
So one question I think for this is not really about you being a first an only child. It's
Mm-hmm.
more about the like. So you're a man. You're being raised by a single mom and an only child, right?
Yeah.
So where for you did you kind of form your concept of what it's like to be a man, and like how did you struggle with that, especially in the concept of in only. Let me say that again.
Yeah. But we saw where you were
Let
going.
me say that again. So,
Uh-huh.
because you're a man and you were raised by a single mom and you kind of didn't see like a male figure around, did that kind of distort your idea of what it's like to be a man and you had to kind of figure that out? And did that affect your romantic relationships?
I know. No, I had my uncle, my
Okay.
mom's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So he used to come. They used to hang out, the three of them. So I, that female cousin, and now him. So he used to be there all the time. So he'd come and be like, "Let me take you here. Let me." Like when I hit myself on the table, he'd be like, "Don't cry. Beat the table." I'm like, "Okay, let's beat the table."
And we wonder, where does African toxic masculinity come from?
Is it toxic though? Is it just
is.
masculinity?
Don't cry.
Toxic.
Don't cry.
Okay,
No,
you know,
like,
actually, it's just masculinity.
it's just masculinity.
Yeah,
I
it's right.
disagree. Don't
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons why we have an issue with men taking their own lives because
Yeah.
of not being
Okay,
able
no,
to
that's
express
true.
their
But at the
emotions.
same time, you
Yeah.
guys always like, "Oh, man can
Okay.
be there." Then
It can't
immediately
be the
happens
same, yeah.
like,
It can
No,
be
I'm
the
not saying
same,
it can
yeah.
be the same, but I do not perpetuate that. Like, honestly, it scares me when I date someone who thinks expressing their emotion is an issue.
I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think from whatever I gathered from that whole situation, it was like, don't cry for the
Anything.
small
things.
things. Like it just hit
But
you.
what is
So
small things?
so
What if
now-
you're feeling pain?
but now like for example, like when I go to funerals, like I think when we lost someone, like I saw him cry.
So you knew.
Then I was like,
Then
oh,
you can cry
I
about
was
the
like,
big
yeah,
things.
but don't just go like you fell. Okay, yeah. So but get up, like keep
Right.
walking.
And I
That's
support
okay.
that.
I don't support
Listen,
that,
yeah.
but listen, masculinity is a spectrum, and actually, it's up to men where they want to fall.
Yeah, I
It's not
guess
up to
yeah.
us. It's
So
not up to
it's
us.
how
But it will
like
be
how
when you have
comfortable.
a
Yeah.
son. It will be up to you.
It'll be up to me where.
Yeah, because you're the one who's teaching your son
Yeah.
what that looks like, what
Hopefully,
that
it's
masculinity
the
looks
man
like.
who is, not me.
I mean,
No,
I
but
hope
also
so.
like you'll be I
Yeah,
mean like
sharing
sharing
it,
the
Or
yeah.
me, I
thing.
will be very much like you can cry about anything, and then
Right.
if the dad is just like beat the table, you guys figure that out. For me,
But you
mine,
see,
you know me, I'm
the
overly
reality
soft.
is, I feel like there
can't.
needs to be an in between because I also don't want to raise a soft boy because
Yeah,
the
exactly.
world is
It's
really
not
cruel
soft.
to
The world
soft
is not
boys.
soft.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the
So-
same women who are there saying that, oh no, I just want to whatever my son. Still, they're the ones who are saying, no, me, I need an alpha male. You know, I want
Yeah.
an alpha male. So it's like there needs to be a balance between that.
And also that
you see.
leaning towards that side more, like being emotional and everything. Then
yeah.
the boy gets into the world and then they can't cope with the world. That
That's
still
the
leads to
thing.
suicide.
So I
That's it.
struggle.
So
This
it's
is
like-
what I struggle. My friend Bree is raising a boy. He's a Pisces, and he's so emotionally smart and intelligent and
Yeah.
in tune, and she supports that. And from what I see, it gives him more confidence to navigate the world because he's not confused about his emotional world. So my confusion is making it, what makes the boy soft, being told that his emotional world matters, or being told to be far removed from his emotional world.
Is that in between?
I'm sure there is, but
Yeah.
my only thing is like
Yeah.
the dance of like we make children tough by being tough to them. I don't know if that is what I visualize as like
Right.
what's the best way to support a child through like self-confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I see it as like I would love for my son to know that his emotional world does matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about how you control those emotions or how you allow them
Regulate.
how you regulate exactly,
Exactly,
in
yeah.
a way that, because the world is like everyone should be able to feel their emotions.
Yeah.
It's more about like for a girl, you just crying. It's just like, yeah, she's just a girl. But for a man who's just breaking down, it's kind of like kind of like handle your emotions sort of thing. And I feel like the older I get and the more I see my son growing up, the more I see why it's important for men to be built in a different way than women are, because the expectations are different, the world treats them different, it looks different, and I know we want to be part of the change, but it's like I want him to know your emotions matter, but also how you
Exactly.
manage them or control them also matters.
And I think it matters for both, because a lot of women cannot handle they can't
true.
handle their own emotions
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
So then we end up kind of overspilling our entire lives about our emotional world because we weren't taught to regulate, because crying is okay, but it's like, okay, baby, what are we crying about? So I think emotional
So
regulation
what
is
next?
for
Yeah,
everyone.
exactly.
Yeah.
Huh?
And also, I feel like
I
there's
think
like, no, I'm saying like, I agree with what you're saying, but I'm also like, it gets to a point where, like, we do want this utopic world where everyone is emotionally balanced. But the truth of the matter is that when you get out there, like if I'm that kind of boy, let's say a man who's just like anything happens and I'm like, "Ugh," and then I'm in a group of men, right? Maybe I'm trying to get a business deal, and then it's
You're
like,
not getting it.
I'm
rejected.
sorry, you're not getting this thing. Ugh, it's like, bruh, you know,
I
like
know.
you might want me to be that person, but that doesn't work for the society I'm in right now.
Yeah.
It might work later, maybe in like 50 years to come, but right now you still need to have.
What have we learned again? Don't
Yeah.
have kids. Yeah.
And if you do have kids, don't just have one. Have
Yo.
at least more than one, please.
I
Yeah.
don't know now.
Have two, yeah. If you could order a sibling who you would have grown up with, what would you order? Like if you could right now place an order and it's like, oh, that's the sibling you grew up with. Would you order
And
like
which
an
order
older
would you do?
sister
Yeah.
or a younger sister?
No,
Would
younger
you want to
sister.
be a younger
Oh,
sister?
Yeah.
why?
I don't know, just the protection and like, because I feel like I've done that for my mom.
Oh,
So maybe a mini her would be interesting to see. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
that's really cute. It's not
That's
gonna
your
happen though.
eighth all.
I know, right?
It's not. Yeah. So sorry.
That's
Yeah.
also your eighth all.
Mine is 8. Yours is 28.
It is.
There is a
What
huge
is there
difference.
anything we've asked you? I've looked at all the other like the things that only children want people to know, and they're basically everything that we've talked about loneliness, hyper independence, someone saying they're the only child and also a pastor's kid, so all eyes are on them, so send help, and
Oh
that
my
kind of
God.
like
Yeah, my mom
so
is a pastor as well.
let,
so-
let,
Your
let's
mom
see.
is a pastor as
Yeah.
well.
No, but I broke off. I was like, we had a conversation. I was like, after that period, I think that's when I woke up for the first time.
This
like after the
period being the
breakup.
divorce
Yeah.
period. Mhm.
So I think that's the first time in my life I woke up. And I was like, I've done so many things in my life to present myself as the best version of me to you
Yeah.
that you can accept. So like from the being religious and all these things, like it was all for your acceptance. But now I'm like, what is, like, who am I?
What do
I only have one life, so there's no way I'll leave it for you. So you've lived your life this way, so let me now live my life however I shape it now. So I had to deconstruct my beliefs and everything and be like, I'm an independent person right now. So I think they need to do that. And maybe sometimes you don't do it willingly.
Yeah.
Life snaps you. Yeah.
literally
out of
said
it,
Does
yeah.
it require a conversation
Yeah.
with the parent, or would
Oh,
you
yeah, we
say
had
it's
a
just like,
conversation.
oh really?
It was very hard for her, of course, because it's like glitching.
Yeah.
Saying
Like, what
everything
do
I've
you
taught you,
mean?
you're getting out of the system.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'll be fine. You've done your part.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn now to run the show. So
Yeah.
That's very woke of you. And even especially for boys, I think they find it harder, especially to the mom, to go and say, I'm standing up to you and I'm like shaking everything and who you expect me to be is not who I am.
Yeah.
That is really, really brave.
Yeah.
yeah, like it had to happen.
Yeah. Wow. Victor, I can say I don't know how I had imagined this episode being, but I feel like you've shared so openly, so deeply and honestly, like in a way that I don't think I foresaw you speaking.
Because he laughs all the time.
Because you laugh all the time.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
it.
In fact,
'Cause you
Lily was
laugh
like,
all
yeah,
the-
you have such a fun,
Fun,
light
light
energy.
energy.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So
See?
yeah, exactly.
See?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely like you have that really softer exterior, but kumbe unakwanga deep.
T told me actually. I was
Ooh,
on
yeah.
FaceTime with my friend Terembe, and I was telling her sorry that we have you on or whatever, and like you have this very fun energy. But she was just like, yeah, but I've seen a lot of his interviews about the divorce, and he's like really open, and I was like, okay, you got
I
this,
see,
you got
yeah.
this,
Yeah. And
Shout
thank
out
you.
to Terembe.
Yeah.
You have a lot of the questions were pretty vulnerable, and
Yeah.
we appreciate you for speaking honestly. I think he's really represented only children,
I think
guys.
so. Yeah. Yay to you. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. If there's any other maybe question or a perspective that we didn't think about, we really did look through all of them. Please let us know down something we might have missed. If there's any other ways that some other things in your only child experience that changed the way that you were an only child or how you experienced it. And guys, we love you all so much, but we know we want to do an episode on the only boy when there's 4 girls, the
Yeah,
only girl when there's
there's-
one. You know, like there's so many
The
dynamics.
middle born when you
Yes,
have a
but
bigger
only
brother,
a
and
single
younger
mom,
You
then
have
the
10
single
siblings,
dad,
then you're the
then
second one.
oh my God, there are so many dynamics, and
Yeah.
even in an only child, there's many things that affect that. Maybe how you grew up, even firstborns, middle.
Yeah.
children.
Then economic dynamics.
Economic
now
dynamics.
financial-
We
Ooh.
actually said that like a lot of firstborn, because we were saying are more like firstborn minors,
Yeah.
right? But like as you, the more comfortable you are, the more you're less firstborny. Because like there's
Exactly.
not
Now
as
there's
much.
no difference,
Exactly.
yeah.
So there's like all these other things that affect birth order.
Yeah.
But I think you've done Only Children
You really
justice.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we done with this series?
I
Let's say ... What's the other one?
What else could another one be in the series?
Raised by someone, a single dad.
Surrogate.
Oh, there's so many. Okay, let us know, guys. What
Tell
other
us.
things would you want us
But
to add
please
to the
make it
series?
one where it's like there's
It's
enough
representative
people,
of people,
not
yeah.
3 people in the country. You know, like a bit more, something like
Maybe adopted.
Yeah.
Adopted is
Actually,
I think that would be
interesting.
really good.
Yeah, that would
okay,
be
that would be
good.
a really interesting one.
Yeah, and adopted where they're biological children,
Yeah,
not just
exactly,
adopted
yes.
alone.
Okay, maybe those are
Maybe
two separate ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at you seem excited because there's more content where she doesn't have to think about
the
much.
podcast in end. We can do, guys. Yeah, adopted, but yeah, that would be interesting. Adopted where there are other like biological children. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Tell us what you'd like to see. But thank you so
Yeah.
much for being here. Is there
Thank
anything we
you.
didn't ask you or any parting shots you want to share?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we took everything
Yeah,
out.
we did.
Praise God.
I'm
yeah.
empty right now.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
like the cup.
Where
It's
can
like-
where can people find you?
yeah, so I'm on social media platforms as Victor Peace or Victor Karanja, mainly Instagram and TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. If
Yeah.
you have any comments, questions for Victor, you know where to head them or put them down in the question box below if you're watching on the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube.
Yes.
And guys, we're going to see you in the next episode. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye.